All right, y'all. So I wanted to talk about today about one thing that I've done and was the first person ever in the world to do. Yeah. like um when I was younger, I always wanted to do one thing that no one else has ever done or be in the Genesis World Records or something. Um, I never thought as a kid it would be something so sexual, but it ended up being that way. And it was very kind of spontaneous. I, growing up, I just was at first trying to save my virginity for the one, the perfect guy. And guy after guy I was with, which was only about three, kept proving more and more that I didn't want to give them that part of myself. And unfortunately, the more guys that kind of broke my heart and my spirit, I gave up on finding true love. And, I gave up at a very young age. I basically gave up at 21 that, you know, I was ever going to find somebody. And at this part of my life, basically starting at the end of my 18th year of being 18, I started getting into modeling. And I loved it, but I knew I didn't have the perfect body for professional modeling. I'm short. I have short legs. I have brown eyes. I didn't really fit the perfect figure or body or face. And so I kind of didn't give myself a lot of credit. A lot of my shoots I had to do for free because no one would pay me. It was really hard. And I finally kind of got into the adult industry. And at first, I thought it was the nerdiest thing, which I guess in reality it kind of is. But I thought I was a dork because I was a virgin in the adult industry, and I was like, yeah, this is a little weird. When I was 19, I started webcamming as a cam girl, and let me tell you, y'all, in the year 2008, it was hot. Like, I mean, you made good money. And you didn't even have to work all day. You didn't have to stay on there all day. I mean, you would just make $100 in 10 minutes. I mean, it was crazy. But I kept hiding from my customers that I was a virgin. I literally, if they asked me to use my fingers or toys, I would just use the camera angle to make it look like I was using it, but it wasn't going in. It was all show. But because I had that experience with live people, and because before I even did webcamming, I did Skype and stuff and Yahoo chat rooms before they got rid of them, I kind of enjoyed the live attention. So let's fast forward to 21. I finally decided that I was like, screw this. I'm just going to lose my virginity in the industry, and I want a twist to it, because at this point there was already a couple virgins that lost their virginity in porn. It was very uncommon, but it wasn't like the first. There were already people that did it. But at the time I lost mine in 2011, camming was still, getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, why don't I lose it on camera live in front of a live audience so everyone could see it? And long and behold, I was the first one to do that. And I was no one did it before me, and I was like, this is kind of cool. I get to do it first. And granted, it wasn't a like respectable goal, like, being the first person to jump a 30-meter dive, or, like run fast, or the Olympics or anything. It was kind of a slutty field. But to me, I've always been on the kinky side, so I was okay with it. I was like, yeah, cool, all right. And I did it. And it was fun, but it was scary. I never really talked about the scariness of it, but it was pretty scary. But that was the one thing that I did that no one else did before me. And of course, now people are going to do it after me because, once someone does something, there's a bunch of people that like to do it too. But that was one thing that I did in my life that nobody else did. So, I could live a life of shame and be ashamed of what I did, but nah, I'm not going to. I'm still kind of happy I did one thing in my little old life that nobody else did, and I was the first. The next thing I was going to do, but I ended up not being able to because I had a surgery that prevented me from being able to do it, is I mentioned to Voodoo about jumping out of an airplane and having sex while, falling down to earth. And he's like, that's an awesome idea. And he was like, all gonna wait for me, and I was gonna be his girl. But he didn't wait and did it with somebody else. And I was like, damn. But, that's what you get for sharing ideas that are kind of original. Someone will run and fly with them and leave you in the dust, unless you do it first. But I've always been kind of creative when it's come to the adult industry and doing kinky things. And, I'm blessed. Even before I lost my virginity, I did so many shoots out in nature that you wouldn't be able to do today because there's just too many people and too many cameras. But, I look back on my past in the industry and everything, and it was good, y'all. I know a lot of people like to blame the industry for making me mental and stupid and crazy. But, I stick behind. It was my fault. It was the marijuana. It affected me differently than other people. It actually made me schizophrenic. And so, and that was my own choice. It wasn't the industry being so bad to me that I smoked. I smoked because, like, I thought it was cool, and I was just like, marijuana is so cool. I liked how it made me feel at the time. But what I didn't realize was the shit that it was making me spill out of my mouth. Man, I sounded like a crazy nut job. And it was because marijuana made me schizophrenic. So, but I chose to do it. And it wasn't because the industry was abusing me or hurting me. It was all just pure infatuation with marijuana, and it just became legal, and it was a big thing in California. Like when I started smoking, it just became legal, and like everyone was doing it. So, but I wanted to share this with y'all. I know I don't talk about the industry a lot, but I do want to start dabbing into it because it is helping me recover, and I love sharing my life with y'all. So now you know, and I hope you guys understand that, I've done a lot in my little life, and, I like sharing it with you guys. Thank you for the comments. I'll try to comment back. Thanks for subscribing. And, I'm going to be more interactive with my channel. I am going to comment more. So, thank you guys. This is Nikki Blue on TikTok and Blue Star 3 on YouTube. And I love you guys. And thank you for listening. And au revoir. Mwah.